Arsenal's first win at United in the Premier League for more than 14 years, but United's domestic season has already been plunged into an early crisis. This their third league defeat from the first 4 games of the campaign at Old Trafford, and the first time they've failed to win any of their first 4 home league matches of the campaign since 1972-1973. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's penalty just over 20 minutes from time was the difference, given away yet again by Paul Pogba, who clumsily fouled Hector Bellerin. Arsenal were diligent and well organised, with Rob Holding very impressive. The Gunners hit the bar through Willian, while United's best effort came when Mohamed El Nene's slice clearance hit his own goalkeeper before rebounding off the Arsenal post. A big win for Mikel Arteta, but desperate disappointment on his 100th game in charge for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It finishes Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1.
Joe Shannon there, who was our commentator for that game. Kevin Watson alongside me, Tom Rennie. Kevin, incredible really, Manchester United. They're so difficult to assess, aren't they? You watch them against Chelsea. They were probably the better side, but couldn't get the win. They thrash RB Leipzig for 5 in the week, and today, lacklustre against Arsenal and defeated at home. Kev, after the opening 6 games of the season, Manchester United in 15th place in the table, below the likes of West Ham, Crystal Palace, Leeds, Newcastle, nowhere near the top 4 race. I know it's early, but that's a really bad start.
Yeah, nowhere near the top 4 race, and also, in my opinion, nowhere near the standard needed of a Manchester United football team. They've been really, really Jekyll and Hyde. I managed to watch the first half of the game this evening, and Arsenal completely and utterly outplayed them and outthought them, which is obviously fair play to Mikel Arteta. But they need to be so much better.
8 games this season, their lowest tally at this stage since David Moyes was in charge back in 2013. They had 7 points then as well at this stage. They finished 7th that season. Maybe that would be considered a success for Solskjaer, I don't know. Are you surprised that there's still so much support for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer amongst not just the Manchester United fans, but also the hierarchy at the club?
Yeah, I don't think that support can last an awful lot longer, if I'm being perfectly honest. His legendary status at the club has bought him more time than most would have got. However, everybody has a sell-by date, and he would appear to be getting near that sell-by date if things don't improve.
On Arsenal, we should mention them. I mean, they have this away at the top 6 tactic down, don't they? They keep getting the big scalps, playing in this incredibly organised, quite defensive way under Mikel Arteta, but, you know, in the last, let's say 20 games, they've beaten almost everyone. Beaten Liverpool, beaten City, and now beaten United.
Yeah, as I say, I watched the first half and I like the way he set his team up this evening. It wasn't just to sit back, if you like. They got after Manchester United from the very first whistle. Now, whether they thought that United would be buoyed by their big win in midweek against Leipzig, and that they'd want to play out, and if you give them too much time, that they'd enjoy the football and hurt Arsenal. But what he done, he set them up to get after them from the very, very start, and it basically stayed that way for the whole game.
We'll look to get some reaction from Old Trafford at half-time of our game. Very interested to hear what both Mikel Arteta and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have had to say. We'll also look back further on Aston Villa 3, Southampton 4, Newcastle 2, Everton 1 later in the show. Now, though, we refocus on our game, which kicks off in just under 10 minutes from now. It's Tottenham Hotspur against Brighton and Hove Albion. Let's hear from the two bosses before kick-off, Jose Mourinho and Graham Potter.
I'm going to make some changes in relation to the last match, but that doesn't mean that my team is not as strong as it was, because I don't change because of I think Europa League is not important.
As I've said before, the Premier League is such that you've got to have a little bit on your side in terms of a bit of luck, a bit of the margins go your way, and they didn't quite against Crystal Palace. I thought the performance against Crystal Palace was worthy of more than a point, but we didn't get it. And then against West Brom, I thought we played really well first half, created some really good chances, only scored 1.
It hurts me. Sometimes players, they make our choices easy when they don't work hard, when they give up, when they don't keep the level of intensity, commitment, desire that we expect. They make our life easier sometimes. And these boys, all of them, they are making my life easy in a way of I have everybody available and in conditions to play.
That's Instagram star and occasional manager Jose Mourinho, also Graham Potter, the Brighton manager. Kevin Watson, former Tottenham player, with me. What happened in Antwerp in midweek for Spurs?
Well, they were just simply completely and utterly off of it, weren't they? It didn't help when he had to drag 3 players off at half time. Obviously, Dele Alli being one of them that we've already mentioned. I think Gareth Bale is still miles and miles off starting a Premier League game, and that's just my opinion. From what I've seen so far in his 4 appearances, I think he's started 2. I don't think Jose will be rushing to get him in the side, that's for sure, the way he's performed. And it was just an off night for them, but they were incredibly poor. And when he says players are making it easy for him, I think he's talking about the ones that he's finding it easy to leave out at the moment.
One final question before we go to kick-off on Brighton. I'm just hearing from some of our touchline sources here that Neal Maupay is not injured, he's just not involved this evening. Now, there's many connotations to that, but interesting, because I was expecting him tonight. I've not got him down on my injured list. That's a massive blow for Brighton, him not being here, isn't it?
Oh, huge.
Can't be selection, can it? It's got to be. I'm assuming it may well be a positive COVID test or something.
Yeah, but it has to be.
Pure speculation, I should say. I don't know.
It has to be, because if he's fit, he plays in this Brighton team. So if he's not injured, it's got to be something else, because you wouldn't leave him out. No. That's for sure.
Players just joining us on the field as we are 5 minutes away from kick-off. Tottenham Hotspur targeting their first Premier League home win of the season at the 4th attempt. Brighton looking for a first victory in 5 matches. Kick-off is up next. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven, that's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talksportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, TalkSportus can defeat it.
TalkSportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of TalkSport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, Titanium Plasmatronic Death Droids from the Future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of TalkSport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
You are listening to TalkSport's coverage of Tottenham Hotspur against Brighton Hove Albion from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. Alongside me for this one is the former Tottenham and Reading midfielder Kevin Watson. This is Premier League Live. If Tottenham are to challenge for the Premier League title this season, something Mourinho has said it's too early to suggest, then they'll need to sort their home form out immediately. While Spurs have won all 3 away games, scoring 12 goals, they have yet to win on their own patch, playing poorly against Everton, then getting stung late by Newcastle and West Ham. Brighton are currently 16th in the table, 4 points clear of the bottom 3, having won just once so far this season against Newcastle in September. A loss or draw here will be their worst run of form since before Project Restart, when they didn't win in 10. We have just had a minute's silence here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, as well as a performance of the last post. Remembrance Sunday is coming up in a couple of weeks' time. This is Tottenham's first opportunity in their last home game before that day to pay tribute, and so they have. Remembrance Sunday, a day to commemorate the contribution of British and Commonwealth military and civilian servicemen and women in the 2 world wars and later conflicts. Also, the minute's silence was reverent to Nobby Stiles, part of the England team which won the World Cup in 1966, who died this week at the age of 78 after a long illness. A man who went back to Manchester United as a coach. He managed Preston North End, and also, for our Canadian listeners will know this, he managed the Vancouver Whitecaps in the 1980s as well. So really sad news this week. Another of the great players to have been part of that 1966 World Cup winning squad to have passed away. Kevin Watson is with me. Kev, quick question to you about Nobby Stiles, because it has been such a big thing for English football fans over the past few days. Another of the great legends of our game sadly lost to us.
Yeah, very, very sad. Passing away after a long illness, as you rightly say, but, you know, will be missed. My dad, I always remember, told me he was at that World Cup final, and I believe there's only 4 of the starting 11 still with us, so sad time.
Yeah, and one of 2 players to have won the World Cup and the European Cup. Only 2 players with British passports have ever done it, and that is Nobby Stiles and Sir Bobby Charlton, who sadly today his family confirmed he's suffering with dementia, so our best wishes go to him as well. Right, let's get on with tonight's game, shall we? We've just kicked off here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'll run you through the 2 teams shortly. We've got an attack here from Brighton down the right hand side to talk you through first. Chip down the wing towards Trossard, cleared away by Tottenham, turned forward again by Brighton, into touch from White in midfield, and that's going to be a goal kick to Spurs. So I'll run through the 2 teams for you, starting with Tottenham Hotspur. Hugo Lloris in goal, back 4 of Sergio Reguilon, Eric Dier, Alderweireld and Matt Doherty, Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg and Sissoko in the centre midfield, with Tanganga and Ndombele in front of them. Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, Eric Lamela are the front 3. On the bench for Spurs, Joe Hart, Harry Winks, Gareth Bale, Joe Rodon, Giovanni Lo Celso, Lucas Moura and Ben Davies. It's 2 changes from last week and 9 from Antwerp in midweek. No space in the squad for Dele Alli. For Brighton, the big story tonight is that Matt Ryan has been dropped down to the bench after poor performances. It's a debut for Robert Sanchez, who's been at the club for a long, long time. Now 23 years of age, signed at 15 out in Spain where he was playing Levante, but has never played for Brighton before. In tonight, huge vote of confidence in him. Back 3, Dan Burn, Joel Veltman, Adam Webster. Ben White in midfield alongside Yves Bissouma, Tariq Lamptey on the right, Solly March on the left. Front 3 is Pascal Gross, Leandro Trossard and Adam Lallana. Neil Maupay is not here, isn't injured, and we are looking into that right now as to why he's not in the matchday squad today. You feel if he was fit, he would at least be on the bench. The bench is Matt Ryan, Alexis McAllister, Stephen Alzate, Danny Welbeck, Davy Proper, Andy Zakiri and Bernardo. Graham Scott is our referee. The VAR is Jonathan Moss. 2 minutes gone here. Tottenham Hotspur in their home strip here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where they've not won in the league this season. White shirts, navy shorts and white socks. They kick from right to left as we look in this first half. Brighton the other way, left to right. Blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Coming forward here down the right-hand side with Leandro Trossard in the area. Looks to cut it as Sissoko of Tottenham, who look to start the counter. Pressing with Heung-min Son in the centre circle. Looks to return it to Lamela. He does, with a lovely diagonal ball. Lamela picks it up in the area, left-hand side. Low cross comes in. Kane to the back post. And it's cleared away, smuggled away by Byrne, who went to ground as Harry Kane looked to turn it home.
First reaction of the game there, 3 minutes in. Just feeling each other out at the moment, but great ball from Son into Lamela down this left-hand side. Lamela doesn't beat his man, doesn't need to, gets half a yard, lovely ball in, and it was good defending in the end because Harry Kane was ready to just tap that home.
3.5 minutes gone here. Tottenham 0, Brighton 0 on Premier League Live. Reguilon down the left, trying to pick a pass, turns back to Hojbjerg. Behind him is Eric Dier, playing in the centre of midfield again. Eric Dier, where it does seem that Jose Mourinho fancies him. Started 5 of 6 Premier League games this season at centre back. Has been in midfield for the majority of his Tottenham career. Hojbjerg now, left-hand side, finds a forward pass into Winks, who usually keeps Tottenham ticking over in midfield, doesn't he?
He does.
Him and Hojbjerg, similar players, aren't they, in that deep-lying position, trying to allow Ndombele the freedom to create.
Already you can see Brighton's system. It looks like Lallana is just going to play off of Trossard. He does favour this wing-back system, doesn't he, Graham Potter? I know he does change, but it looks like Trossard, Lallana just behind him, and also Gross as well. But the two wing-backs, March and Lamptey, been really impressed with Tariq Lamptey.
I should clarify, I was doing a joke there because I said Winks when I meant to say another player, but maybe that wasn't clear, so there we go. Here's Sissoko, forward, down the line to Lamela. Lovely touch to Doherty, return to Lamela. Got a fetching blonde Pogba-esque streak in his hair at the moment, and he finds a crossfield pass out left to Reguilon. Short to Ndombele is Dier, out left to Heung-min Son, running at Lamptey, running at the corner of the penalty area. Right-footed, low into Reguilon, out of his body, tries to shoot, does shoot, on target. Stung the fingertips of Robert Sanchez in goal, who hasn't looked too comfortable in the opening 5 minutes. It's off his hands for a corner kick.
Yeah, good feet, wasn't it, from the left-back Reguilon. Really good touch, took him past Webster, and he just shifts it onto his favoured left foot. Good strike. I would have thought Sanchez would have expected to hold that. Yeah, he just better safe than sorry, I guess.
Sanchez with the fingertip away, defending for his team to do here. Heung-min Son's delivery to the near post, headed away. Rather simple win there from Adam Webster. Lewis Dunk still suspended, by the way, for Brighton. Sent off in that game against Crystal Palace, wasn't he, for that lunge on Gary Cahill late on. And Ndombele round the corner to Heung-min Son. Cross from the left-hand side is away by Webster, who went to ground, captaining Brighton this evening. And it will be another corner to Spurs on the left-hand side. 6.5 minutes gone here, it's 0-0.
It's been a bright start from Tottenham. They love to attack down this left-hand side, whether it's Kane making runs in the channel or Son.
Heung-min Son in the swinging corner from the left-hand side. Away at the near post by Lamptey. Controlled by Reguilon, but he passes straight to Tariq Lamptey, who looks to bring Brighton upfield. Stopped unceremoniously there by Tanganga and Ndombele. Professional foul from the Tottenham record. That's our first yellow card of the match, 7 minutes gone.
Well, Ndombele, he won't thank Reguilon for that pass, will he? Because it's cost him a booking, because Lamptey was going to be away, and we all know how quick Lamptey is. He would have carried Brighton all the way up the pitch there, and as you say, a really industrial challenge and professional foul, as you say, Tom.
A long clearance upfield there from Brighton, right to left, trying to release someone on that far side. It was rather aimless from Brighton, somewhat unexpected from Brighton, not really their style of play at all. It's gone straight into touch for a throw-in to Spurs, about 10 yards shy of the halfway line. 7.5 minutes gone. Doherty forward, intercepted by March, who's found a new lease of life at left wing back for Brighton. He's played in several positions for them, and this is the one that seems to suit him most. It's into the feet of Pascal Gross, chipped out left to Trossard. No striker for Brighton, so Trossard will need to make something of this. There's nowhere for him to go, and he's robustly challenged by Moussa Sissoko. Spurs clear it upfield. Brought down by Byrne, who gives it straight to Hojbjerg. Short to Harry Kane, who looks to release Heung-min Son over the top, right to left. Son jumping with Webster. Webster wins. Gross controls, and Brighton retake possession right-hand side with Tariq Lamptey. Forward to Lallana, poke to Lamptey, gets the ball out of his body and tried to chase it down there, but straight into touch from Tariq Lamptey. Kevin, you mentioned earlier on you've been impressed by Tariq Lamptey this season. Yeah, I think he's been outstanding, and fair play to Graham Potter and Brighton, for taking him from Chelsea's under-23s, where he'd not really a sniff. But I'll tell you what, he's had an outstanding start to the season. Very direct in his play, very, very quick as well. Played in multiple positions as well, hasn't he? Much like March, he's played on the wing, he's played at right back, he's played, as he is tonight, right wing back, and he isn't on loan from Chelsea, as so many players seem to be. He has gone on a permanent move to Brighton. Yeah, which is, credit to Brighton, credit to Graham Potter for taking that chance. Here's Sissoko on the halfway for Tottenham, right-hand side, nudging his way upfield. Back towards Toby Alderweireld, into Hojbjerg in the centre circle, signed from Southampton in the summer. Finds himself with Spurs behind the Saints in the table at the moment. Another great win for Southampton earlier today, their 4th win in 7 games at the start of the season. 4 wins and a draw in their last 5 games. Incredible run from Ralph Hasenhuttl, who celebrated the year anniversary last week of the famous 9-goal drubbing at the hands of Leicester. It's Tottenham looking for their first today as Ndombele slips in Heung-min Son down the left-hand side. He's forced wide, crosses towards the back post, away from Brighton's defence. It was Gross with the header, then Lallana was clattered into Harry Kane. That is right on the edge of the penalty area. Could easily have been a penalty. Lallana complains it will be a free kick. That's a ridiculous challenge there from Lallana. I'm not sure what he's thinking. Initially Son gets in down the left-hand side again. Lovely little ball stood up to the back post. Little bit of a melee. Bissouma misses his kick, and then Lallana, he just absolutely piles through the back of Harry Kane, and he's very fortunate Kane wasn't a yard the other way, because that would have been a stonewall penalty. What on earth was he thinking there, Adam Lallana? That's really, really poor from a Premier League winner last season, and a man who's been at the top level in England for a long, long time now. Really classy footballer, but it was an aberration from him, and this is a real chance for Spurs. 11 minutes gone, the score is 0-0. The only thing I can think of there, Tom, is that he's just got his eyes firmly fixed on the ball and doesn't see Harry Kane, but it's a ridiculous decision to jump like that anyway. There's a little delay here because the VAR was checking to see whether the infringement was on the line. On the line is in the area, and it has been turned from free kick to penalty. The VAR, Jonathan Moss, was looking at that for a while there. We were wondering why it was taking so long to give the free kick, and the VAR has said Lallana has fouled Kane on the line or in the area, and a penalty has been given. Kev, we're watching a replay of it now from a really good angle, and that seems like the right decision. Yes, it does. He was on the line, wasn't he? And the line belongs to the forward, as we all know. So VAR has done its job there. And it's a penalty for Tottenham Hotspur. 12 minutes gone. Harry Kane steps up from 12 yards to give Spurs the lead. And he does against the debutant goalkeeper Sanchez. Keeper goes one way, Kane goes the other. and that now puts him to 149 scored. One away from 150. His incredible goal-scoring run continues. That is Premier League goal since debut in August 2012.
Wonderful penalty. I was seeing how it was given away again. Adam Lallana, he must see Harry Kane there. In fact, he's just inside the box by a few inches. So definite penalty. And once Harry Kane steps up, it's the usual technique, little shuffle, sends the keeper the wrong way. Wonderful penalty. As soon as he puts it on the spot, you basically know it's going to end up in the goal, don't you? Tottenham 1-0.
Can't afford to give Tottenham Hotspur a chance like that. Harry Kane a chance like that this early in the game. Their most experienced player as well, Lallana, making that error. And I don't feel like Brighton have come here to all-out attack, but they're going to need to now, aren't they, to change the way they've played the opening 13 minutes.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, straight from the start of this game, it just, to me, just seemed very open. I mean, it's a big playing surface here at the new Tottenham Stadium, and I just felt that the game was open, you know, and I still feel that won't be the end of the scoring, because Tottenham, as we know, embarrassment of riches going forward, and when they get it right, they're very, very hard to defend against.
Going into this weekend, they were the leading scorers in the Premier League. They were usurped by Liverpool yesterday, who moved up to 17. That's where Spurs are now. 17 goals scored in the opening 6 and a bit games for Spurs. Incredible going forward. They're defending here as Bissouma, who's found a goal-scoring knack of late, takes a drive from distance. That's cleared. Breaks the Solly March, who crosses, deflected in the air, away by Dier. Recovered by March on the far side, heads it back towards Veltman. And Brighton will build again from the halfway line. Chip forward, trying to release Trossard from centre to left. Did find some space in between Doherty and Alderweireld, but the pass to him was over him. That's going to be all the way through to Hugo Lloris, away to our right, decked out in fluorescent orange tonight. First time he's really been asked to do anything by Brighton. 15 minutes gone, it's 1-0 top.
Yeah, they just need to stay in the game at the moment, Brighton. You know, take stock, get a few passes in, have a bit of possession. Don't be out of the game, because we know what Tottenham are like. If you go and hit you incredibly quickly, so just stay in the game, keep some possession. You haven't got to go chasing it just yet.
Dropped 6 points this season from losing positions, Tottenham. And winning positions as well. They've been somewhat inconsistent, haven't they? Of course, they were winning here against Newcastle in the, 93rd, 94th minute.
That game was one-way traffic, wasn't it?
3-0 up against West Ham in the 81st minute. Only got the draw there, so they won't be that comfortable here, Tottenham.
No, they won't, and that eventually, if you keep doing it, it does play on your mind.
Eric Dier with a big crossfield diagonal left to right, cleared away by March, recovered by Hojbjerg. Looks forward to Ndombele, back to Hojbjerg again. Here's Harry Kane from deep, forward to Ndombele. Lamela looks to return it to Kane, chips it forward, hits the chest of Bissouma of Brighton. Seagulls, though, couldn't keep possession. Tottenham retake it in the centre circle with Moussa Sissoko. A lot of solidity, isn't there, about Tottenham's midfield? Yeah. Sissoko and Ndombele and Hojbjerg.
Well, Ndombele's a different player for me. He's Project Restart. We've done a few of their games. He looked a stone overweight. He looked lazy. He looked slow. But Mourinho's obviously had a word with him, because he looks a different player now. And I've been really impressed with him since the start of this season.
Harry Kane looks diagonal here. Ball goes into touch. Couldn't find the runner on the right. Brighton goal kick. 17 minutes gone. And Ndombele, £63 million from Lyon at the start of last season. Big money signing of the Pochettino era, his last summer. 90 minutes completed just twice in 27 Premier League appearances for Ndombele, yet to play a full 90 minutes at home since signing for Tottenham Hotspur. Looks sharper now, though, that's for sure.
He does, yeah.
He certainly is preferred to Dele Alli these days. who plays a vaguely similar role in the team, attacking number 10.
I think you or I would be prefer to Dele Alli in Mourinho's eyes at the moment, Tom.
Yeah.
He's really out of favour, isn't he?
We'll wait for the book to see exactly what's gone on there. We do know that Dele Alli is not in the Tottenham squad. And we know Tottenham have a free kick on the halfway line here. Doherty, who's taken the starting berth of Serge Aurier at right back, has won a free kick on the halfway. Eric Dier in the central defence. Davinson Sanchez has been playing there quite a lot at the start of the season. Scored an own goal here, didn't he, in the game against West Ham. Dier has had a bit of an injury last couple of games. Crossfield to Reguilon. Brought down, running at Lamptey, edge of the area. Ball in field is away by Brighton. Then Lamptey picks up the loose ball on this right-hand side, pokes it through to Lallana. Intercepted by Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg, once the youngest ever player to play for Bayern Munich when he was a teenager. And he clips it all the way back to Hugo Lloris.
They just can't get a foothold in the game at the moment, Brighton. It's all Tottenham possession.
Good signing, Hojbjerg. I think there were some eyebrows raised when he came in.
Yeah, no, I think so, Tom. I think so. I think it's on breaking. I think, like you were mentioning, similar to Harry Winks, I think he's got a little bit more of the defensive side in him and ability to play that holding role in a different way from Harry Winks. He sees danger, he sees midfield runners, and he does get his foot in. And I think that's what, Tottenham haven't had many of those players over the years, have they?
I love how you were briefly distracted there by the ball over the top to Heung-min Son. It came to nothing in the end. Webster was always favourite to get on the end of the bouncing ball and got there before the Tottenham attacker. Breaking play here because Lamptey has been fouled as he looked to bring Brighton upfield, as we get another replay on our monitors of Lallana giving the penalty away. And it really is a momentary aberration from Lallana, because it's not as if Kane is able to bring that down and do something with it. It's a very difficult ball for Kane to make something of.
Yeah.
So there's no real reason for that panic in the way Lallana defended.
None at all. And I'm sure he's a very experienced player who'll be kicking himself at that decision he's made there.
Here's Son, who's won it from Webster and runs towards the penalty area. Heung-min Son tries a shot left to right. Tried a curler in the top corner, but got underneath it. Heung-min Son, and that will be a goal kick to Brighton.
Yeah, poor from Webster. He takes it off him, and you're thinking he's going to run him. Webster's no slouch, stays with him. Son goes inside, gets it onto his right foot. Not the best effort he'll ever have on goal.
Heung-min Son, 10 goals in his last 8 appearances in all competitions. Top scorer in the Premier League going into this weekend with 8 goals. Most of those coming against Southampton in the one game, to be fair. A real threat this season for Tottenham Hotspur, playing more advanced than Harry Kane, who continually looks to set him up. As Bissouma fouled on the halfway line here on the left-hand side of the field for Brighton, wins them a free kick. Webster forward into the feet of Trossard, who flicks it round the corner straight to Sissoko. Tottenham can break here. Sissoko's pass intercepted by Ben White, who's usually in defence. Played there all season for Leeds United in their title-winning campaign. In midfield tonight alongside Bissouma.
He's got good ability though, he's got good passing range. So, not really a surprise to see him in there. He's not just an all-out defender. He can step in there, and he's got good passing range, as I say. He's comfortable with the football as well.
Yeah, Leeds tried hard, didn't they, to get him to Ellen Road during the summer. Bids of up to £20 million rejected by Brighton, because Graham Potter wanted Ben White in his team and offering the versatility you need to have playing for a Potter side. Here's Pascal Gross on the right-hand side for Brighton in Tottenham territory. Pokes it to Lamptey outside, back to White. Diagonal chip right to left, trying to find March, intercepted by Doherty as far as Dan Burn, the big central defender who has played fullback plenty of times for Brighton. Solly March chops in field, entering the final third. Cross field to his fellow wing-back Lamptey on the right. approaching the area, cuts back, finds White, space to cross, time to cross, does cross. Trossard's gone down here, screaming for a penalty. He says he was pulled back by Doherty in the penalty area, and this will be checked by the video assistant referee, I am sure. Graham Scott has not given a penalty, and it's being looked at now by John Moss, who's already given one penalty tonight. Kevin Watson, what do you think?
Well, let's have another look at it. That's a penalty. In my opinion, that's a penalty. I don't know what you think, Tom. Doherty's got hold of him.
Well, if you give the penalty in the game between Brighton and Crystal Palace a couple of weeks ago, you have to give this, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, he does go down in instalments, Trossard, doesn't he? It's after the pull, but it is a pull. And Jonathan Moss is obviously looking at it quite a few times here, as we can see on our monitors. For me, that's a penalty. It stops Trossard. Trossard's going to get to the ball first.
Well, it's not been given. It has not been given by the video assistant referee, and Graham Scott has not gone over to look at it on the monitors here. So it's not enough of a foul to be given, or at least enough of a clear and obvious error by the referee for him to be required to review that. And I suppose it is reasonably debatable, because Doherty does take his arms off Trossard after realising that he's going to take a tumble here.
For me, I just think that if he doesn't touch him at all, he gets on the end of that ball, which is a goal-scoring opportunity. But, as you say, is it because it's not enough of a glaringly obvious mistake by the referee? Who knows?
Well, we know it's not been given, and we know it's 1-0 to Tottenham with 24 minutes gone. Here's Heung-min Son down the left-hand side, over the halfway, challenged by Gross, recovered by a combination of Veltman and Webster. And Joel Veltman now in the central defence will knock a pass back to the debutant goalkeeper. Veltman playing in the heart of defence for Brighton today. Played in both legs of Ajax's 3-3 Champions League semi-final away goals defeat to Tottenham back in April-May 2019. Brought in for just £900,000 this summer. That was his release clause from Ajax. Not the kind of fee that anyone really pays in 2020. 3 weeks of Mesut Ozil wages. Here's Lamptey down the right channel towards Pascal Gross, who's not the quickest. Hojbjerg gets there first. Assistant referee has given the corner here? I think he has in the end. I think Hojbjerg thought he just got away with that, but it's come off him last. Corner Brighton right hand side, their first corner of the match. Gross is over it. Not a great deal of height to aim for at the moment for Brighton. Most players currently at the back post, almost outside the area. Now they run in. Webster's one of them. It's over his head. Tottenham get it away.
Good corner, that. Landed right in the danger area. 6-yard box. A lot of pace on it. I think it was Ben White. Rose really high, didn't he? But just couldn't get to that delivery.
Interesting how so many Brighton players were standing on the edge or outside the area before it was whipped in. So often there's players in the area who come out, players that go in, but there was almost no one in the area. They're back in the area again now with Lallana. 1-2 with Lamptey, tries to find a slip through to Trossard, cleared away by Tottenham. Brighton just got Spurs on the back foot right now. Here's Gross on the right. Held up by Heung-min Son. Reverse pass down the line to Lamptey, but not enough room there to play in. Ball goes into touch for a throw into Tottenham. 27 minutes gone now. Tottenham 1, Brighton 0. Harry Kane's penalty on 13 minutes separating the two teams.
They're just beginning to work their way into the game. Brighton had a slow 20 minutes, didn't they? But we can see Tottenham 59% of the ball, and that Brighton 41%. I'm sure that's gone up in the last 6 or 7 minutes.
Better from Brighton, but they haven't really tested Hugo Lloris as yet. To be fair, Robert Sanchez on debut in goal for Brighton's not had too much to do. One little nudge over the top. For those just joining us, Matt Ryan dropped today, not injured, he's on the bench. Sanchez is in goal. Robert Sanchez, the 23-year-old 6'6" Spanish goalkeeper. Not much he could do about the penalty. No, he's not had much to do.
No, he hasn't. Exactly right.
Doherty down the line here for Spurs, midway inside his own half, passes straight into touch. Has been a little bit flat, hasn't it, this game so far?
It has. I thought Tottenham started really well, got their goal. Brighton, as I say, easing themselves back into it at the moment, and probably been the better team in the last 6 or 7 minutes, like we just said, and they've forced another corner now.
Yeah, again it's Lamptey down the right hand side. Moves around. Lovely close control and turn of pace by the Chelsea Academy product. Challenged by Reguilon, brought in from Real Madrid. See another Brighton corner given on the right hand side. 28 minutes gone. Spurs lead by a goal to 0. Is there to be another set piece routine here from Brighton and Hove Albion, who were famous for it when Chris Hughton was in charge here. Gross's delivery. It's away by Kane. Covered by Solly March outside the penalty area. Poke to Bissouma. Got lucky there, did Solly March. It wasn't near Bissouma, but Son had gambled near. Ball went far. Kane has won it back now for Spurs. Carries them upfield. One more goal for him will put him to 150 Premier League goals.
It's an amazing record, isn't it? He has.
So, the wags listening will say no trophies to show for it. And you do wonder, 27 now, Harry Kane. Does he want to be Tottenham's all-time top goal scorer ever? Or does he want some trophies when he's retired? Some medals in the cabinet?
That's the catch-22 question, isn't it? I'm sure it. No matter how much he is a Tottenham boy, it must niggle at him. You know, do I go? Do I try somewhere else? Do I almost end up like a Steven Gerrard situation, never winning the title with Liverpool? Yeah, won cups, but I know it niggled at Gerrard, didn't it? That they never managed to win the league. Will he be the same?
Or will he win the Premier League with Tottenham Hotspur?
Yeah.
Victory today would put them right up there amongst the leaders of this league. They're leading now, but they're defending. Lallana in the area, right hand side, found by Lamptey, back to Gross, cross towards the back post. Solly March is there, heads it down. Trossard gets there before Sissoko. Sissoko bites back and gets the ball clear for Tottenham Hotspur. He'll find Lamela on the far side. March for company. March has run it back into Bissouma. Bissouma slips it into Lallana, back heel towards Trossard, cleared by Alderweireld, recovered by March. Cross comes in, away by Alderweireld. Another corner for Brighton.
Yeah, it's a much better spell for the Seagulls. As that ball came in, they got 4 players in the box. They're showing plenty of intent now.
I wonder what would happen if they had a striker on the field at Brighton. Maupay not in the squad today. No Connolly either. Of course, they sold their record Premier League scorer Jane Murray to Watford. As this ball comes in, it's away by Kane at the near post. Recovered by Ndombele, gives it an old-fashioned wallop upfield. Looking to release Heung-min Son, but it was far too close to Sanchez, the goalkeeper, who can clear it upfield. Brighton dominating the play right now, dominating possession. Do they have the ability to create a goal-scoring chance? Lallana down the right sideline to Trossard, picks it up on the end, looks up, no one to cross to, and eventually just has to cross it, I think, because there was nowhere else to go, and there was no one in the box to aim to either. And it's got to be frustrating for Brighton fans listening and watching on to this one. They're getting in good areas, got some really good technical players, Brighton, but toothless so far.
That is the word I would use to describe it. They've been pretty good last probably 12-13 minutes with the ball, but no end product. A
couple of tweets here asking where Aaron Connolly is. I know he's not in the matchday squad. I don't have a reason for his absence. I know he was involved in some COVID testing issues with the Republic of Ireland squad. They, of course, lost several players, didn't they, during the most recent international break. But he's not on the injured list I have here, so the answer is I don't know currently. We'll get our spies looking into that, as they are with the Maupay story as well. We had expected Brighton's top scorer to be in the squad today. He is not. As Lamptey throws in from the right-hand side, trying to release Trossard. That's a foul throw by Tariq Lamptey. Assistant referee says one foot was raised in the air before he took it.
Inexcusable. Any level of football, you shouldn't take foul throws. Simple as that.
A coach's incredulity there from Kevin Watson.
I see someone do it about a week ago in a Premier League game, and I can't think who it was. It just looks horrible and it's embarrassing.
I do wonder why it matters, though. Like, if your foot's up a bit or the ball doesn't go behind your head, you know, no one's paying to watch the throw-ins. Rory Delap has long since retired.
Yeah, Dave Challoner as well. He possessed a really long throw for Tranmere back in the day. That would land under your crossbar, no problem. It'd be like a corner.
34 minutes gone here. Game is just lulling at the moment, but Tottenham Hotspur won't care about that. They'll be happy to be in possession of the football. They haven't really been for a good 20 minutes or so. Now leading by a goal to nil. Harry Kane's penalty on 13 minutes, separating the two sides. Adam Lallana giving the spot kick away, jumping recklessly into the back of Harry Kane. Good challenge by Lamela on Bissouma in the centre circle. Brighton, they retake possession. Right-hand side. Here's Lamptey. 1-2. Accidental with Reguilon. Pokes it towards Trossard. Alderweireld with a strong challenge. Clears upfield.
Just shows you Brighton's dominance at the moment is that Lamptey and March can play so high up the pitch. There he is again.
Slipped in by Gross, right-hand side, cuts it back, Trossard out of his body, shoots! Blocked by Eric Dier, offside flag does go up. Lamptey did look offside on first viewing, but I'm sure listeners are used to this by now, that the officials follow the FIFA protocols these days. They don't put the offside flag up until the players come to an end, as opposed to putting the flag up and then we check on VAR and we find out he's on and blah blah blah.
When a team plays wing backs, you can always tell how they're doing in a game when their position is high up the pitch. It tells you that they've got a lot of the ball and that they can afford and move up the pitch knowing that they're in good possession. When they're forced backwards and become a back five, you know that it's the other team dominating. But at the moment, it's Brighton that are dominating this game.
It's a very different Brighton from the one I was here watching under Chris Hughton 2 seasons ago, when Christian Eriksen's late goal gave Spurs a victory where they defended all game long. Brighton, they had no interest getting over the halfway line.
I vividly remember that game, and it took till the last seconds, didn't it? Last minute, Eriksen scored.
89th, if memory serves.
I mean, they defended like Trojans, but they literally, from kick-off, just sat on the edge of their box and said, come on, try and break us down.
And this is not that side, is it?
Nowhere near that side, no.
They continue to struggle in the Premier League, and they will be down there amongst the bottom 6 this season, you feel, but they certainly are more pleasant to watch these days. But do Brighton fans care about that? They are losing now. Hotspur, just one victory all season. Alderweireld over the top, trying to find Doherty, goal side of March. Good reading of the game there by Veltman. Clears it upfield, into touch for a throw on the far side to Tottenham. 37 minutes gone. It is 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, after that initial 10-15 minutes where the game was played at a high tempo and Tottenham got their goal, it's been pretty benign stuff up until this point.
Tottenham take a throw, Doherty in, and they volley it straight into touch for a Brighton throw now over on that far side, midway inside their own half. They've made 9 changes from the Antwerp result. Tottenham Hotspur, only Reguilon and Lloris surviving from that game in midweek, where they were beaten by an incredible volley by Rafilov. But really, Tottenham's second string should be winning against teams like Royal Antwerp, and Jose Mourinho certainly felt that, saying maybe the press should stop asking him why some of these second string players are not getting in the team. There's your evidence. They're coming forward here with the first team. Harry Kane spreads it left. Reguilon on the edge of the penalty area, trying to poke it into Son. Good work by Pascal Gross to win the ball back for Brighton. He is then hounded off the ball by Spurs players, trying to poke it to Lamptey, poked it into touch. Do have the buyback clause, don't they? Real Madrid on Reguilon, if he ends up impressing here. He certainly has impressed in his first few games for Mourinho. Fantastic delivery for one of Harry Kane's goals against West Ham here, last time I saw them at this stadium. He's given a free kick away here, though.
It's going to be booked as well.
Cross was blocked and Brighton looked to clear, and as you say, he has been yellow carded for, I don't know whether it's the challenge on Gross, which isn't too tidy, or it's the moaning to the referee afterwards.
I think it's the tackle. I'm not sure what he's moaning about, because Gross does him a favour there by half jumping out the way, but the intent was certainly to make his presence felt, to put it mildly.
Europa League winner with Sevilla last season. Well, in August, really, to be fair, last season. Doesn't feel like last season, but it was technically. Started the game against Inter in Cologne for the move here. As Doherty, another new signing, has given a free kick away. The jury has been a bit out from Tottenham fans on Matt Doherty since coming in from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Given penalties away, not played particularly well, and he's given a soft free kick away here on the far side, which Brighton can look to deliver. They're about 10-12 yards away from the attacking left corner of the penalty area.
Yeah, this is a dangerous position. No need for that foul from Doherty. And the big guns are up again.
Webster, Veltman, Byrne, White, Bissouma all have height. Bissouma's pulled deep on the edge. March's delivery. Away back header by Sissoko. Byrne recovers on the near side. In fact, he lets it go for a throw. Takes it quickly into Bissouma. Up against Heung-min Son. Yves Bissouma turns back and finds Lamptey. Down the line again to Yves Bissouma. Son holds him up again. It's passed towards the halfway, and Adam Webster. Turn of pace by Adam Webster, and he's driving Brighton forward here. Edge of the area, finds a pass left to Solly March. Cross comes in, off Doherty. Loops in the air, loops for another corner to Brighton.
Tottenham have got to be careful here. I mean, they've got
to improve.
Yeah, they've done the self-same thing, didn't they? The second half against West Ham. 3-0 up. They think the game's won, and they just end up sitting very deep and inviting the other team on. And since the goal, that's what they've done again. Go and score another one. I just don't get it.
Fourth corner for Brighton. Can they make this one count? It's a totally different routine now from Brighton. They have 5 players in the 6-yard box surrounding the goalkeeper and nobody else in the penalty area. And they take it short over on the far side into Trossard. Left-footed cross, won by Byrne, knocks it down. Veltman was the target of the flick, but Hugo Lloris swiftly off his line to smother.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were trying to do there. All under the crossbar. Taking my eye off the corner taker, I didn't see any clever movement. Normally when teams do that, they run out about 5 or 6 yards and then turn round and come back in, and that's the cue for the corner taker to take the corner. But there was nothing really too clever going on there at all.
42 minutes gone. I've got to say, I'm always so disappointed as a football fan when teams take short corners. It just feels like overthinking when most of the game is getting to a good position to cross it.
Yeah.
And they finally get in one, and they're like, oh no.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can get a better angle here. There is no better angle.
No.
Than taking a corner. Anyway. Today's daily grind.
The only time in my sort of relatively new management career, if you like, the only time I would encourage it is if you get there quickly, there's two of you around the ball, and you can take it before the other team.
Yes, if it's taken quickly and you want to get on with it, sure. Yeah. But why set up and then just cross it anyway?
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's only really Man City I've seen do something with those, and that was a shot from, I think it was Danilo against Burnley, who found the top corner where they shoot from distance. Apart from that, I can't recall many actually becoming a goal. But you see corners every week headed in.
You do.
I saw Newcastle get a penalty, somewhat controversially doing that earlier today. Though I've watched the replay about 10 times since someone sent it to me, and I still am not quite sure where the foul is. Don't even get me started on Mo Salah. 2 minutes to go into half-time here. 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. Reguilon down the line. Son's given it straight to Lallana. 3 players around it. Nice footwork by Lallana to draw the touch and win a throw for his side. Leaves it for Lamptey, who gets us back underway. Didn't put that ball all the way behind his head. That was probably a foul throw.
Yeah, it might have been in the last week as well. Clearly he didn't do throw-ins in the under-23s league.
Might not have done much on offside as well. They're trying to flick that to him. He's a good 2 yards off, so he's left it. Will be interesting watching Tariq Lamptey, won't it? Because he has got a real big profile quite quickly because of how well he has played, but it can be a long career, and there are as many troughs as there are peaks.
There certainly are.
Here's Bissouma for Brighton, carrying right to left, edge of the area, finds March, Sissoko and Doherty for company. March's cross hits the thighs of Lallana, who was for some reason blocking the cross. Breaks back to March, who runs towards the corner flag with it, looks to win a corner. Lamella's run it back, he hits it against Bissouma. Referee says that's a handball, and that's a free kick to Tottenham Hotspur, who have been very poor since taking the lead in the 13th minute.
Yeah, they have. Disappointed with their performance at the moment. Brighton have done okay, as you've alluded to. They're just lacking a presence and a final product.
Well, they do have a striking option on the bench. No Maupay tonight, no Connolly. Danny Welbeck is amongst the substitutes, brought in on a free after being terminated at Watford at the end of last season. Looking to make his Brighton debut. Sat on the bench in the West Bromwich Albion game, didn't come on there. Also a man who played in a few North London derbies against Tottenham for Arsenal in his career.
Yeah, he'd like nothing more than to come on and score. Danny Welbeck, I'm sure. And if it stays like this, and they continue to play the way they are, Brian, and at the moment dominating the ball, and they need someone to put the ball in the back of the net, i.e. a forward, then he should be on the pitch.
And he's not going to stay fit, Danny Welbeck.
No.
So when he is fit, you may as well use him.
Yeah.
There's no point trying to keep him in cotton wool because the injuries come. Harry Kane looks to flick one forward towards Lamela. Burn is always favourite. Burn wins it. Back towards Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper. He finds a...
Quite tedious to watch, hasn't it, really? I thought the game was going to be very open after that first 10 minutes. And the Tottenham goal, but Tottenham at the moment do what Tottenham do, and that's score and then almost rest on their laurels.
No excuse for not being fit enough either, because they made 9 changes from midweek, Tottenham. One that did stay is the goalkeeper, who didn't do a great deal in Antwerp, apart from pick the ball out of his net, of course.
Well, for me, Brighton have been the better side, especially with the football, but glaringly obvious. You know, they've got nobody at the top of the pitch.
Veltman trying to find Lallana here. Diagonal chip to him. Oh, and Lallana got goal side there of Dier.
Yeah, when we see that again, it's a wonderful run from Adam Lallana. He goes short and then just spins in behind. There he goes short. There he goes. Just runs off the back of Dier. Lovely little ball. If he brings that down, you feel he's going to get his shot off, but his control lets him down on that occasion.
Fantastic movement from Adam Lallana. Premier League winner, Champions League winner. long-time Liverpool servant, much beloved at Anfield as well, despite only being a bit part player in the last couple of seasons by fans and fellow players alike. Good man to have around. You surprised there wasn't a longer queue to sign Adam Lallana this summer?
I think it's probably it was just his lack of games why more people didn't come in for him, but he's going to be a good player for Brighton. He's still a good player. He's been a very good player over the years, and I think a good acquisition.
Did want to find a club back on the south coast or in the south of England. Former Southampton man, of course, as Burns been caught here by Lamela on the right hand side. Cross comes in. Burn in his desperation has hacked down Lamela when the ball has been crossed, and that's a soft free kick given away by Dan Burn, who was really panicking there.
It is, and he is a booking. Yeah. You know, I thought it was he's had a tug at Lamela to start.
You would have been right to be surprised.
Yeah. He's had a tug to start with, and then that's a lunge afterwards, isn't it? Rightfully finds himself in the referee's notebook, and a chance for Tottenham here now.
Really poor from Dan Burn, who's usually such a steady performer for Brighton and Hove Albion. But this is a chance for Tottenham. It's on the end line, right hand side, really close to the penalty area. Chance for them to threaten for the first time since the goal, really.
Big moment right at the end of the first half, this. In the context of the game,
Lamela's over it, as is Heung-min Son, Kane, Dier, Alderweireld, Sissoko in the area, Reguilon on the edge. Oh, well, Lamela has just blasted that ball over the crossbar. I don't know if he's trying to shoot or what on earth he was doing. It was really, really poor and rather fitting of the first half from Tottenham Hotspur. They're winning by a goal to nil. Harry Kane's penalty on 13 minutes, won by him and converted by him. The only goal of the game. From that point onwards, very, very flat from Spurs, looking like they're trying to hold on to a 1-0 win. Brighton getting back into it, but without a striker, you ain't going to score. At the break, it's 1-0 to Tottenham. Analysis to follow. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, anchorman.
Mid-morning news team, assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Raven. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is Maximus Talks Sportus Pandemicus, gladiator of the sports radio. Gird up your loins and battle the invasion of COVID-19, because what you do today will echo in eternity.
TalkSport Legion, assume tortoise formation against COVID-19.
Show this virus no mercy by keeping a distance of at least 2 meters at all times. That's 6.75 Roman feet centurions. Together, Legion, Talk Sportus can defeat it.
Talk Sportus Maximus.
On my signal, unleash hand sanitizer.
Keep it on, stay informed, and give coronavirus the red cardus.
Are you not hand sanitized?
20 years of Talk Sport.
Gentlemen, good evening.
There's no such thing as an overnight success.
Accrington Stanley 4, titanium plasmatronic death droids from the future, 0.
Excess.
I wasn't getting up, I was just getting in.
Excitement.
Excuse me,
and extremely strong opinions.
I spend my life covering the big game at the big level.
On DAB, medium wave, and on your smart speaker. 20 years of Talk Sport.
For all the latest news, opinions and advice, listen to Talk Radio throughout the day and stay informed as events unfold.
We're now in a position to start implementing the next part of our plan.
Find out what's happening now and what may happen next, all day, every day.
If the government gets to grips with the plan, then surely we will be able to see light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen now on DAB Digital Radio, online, via the Talk Radio app, or ask your smart speaker to play Talk Radio.
Half-time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs beating Brighton at the interval by a goal to nil. There's a little delay here because the VAR was checking to see whether the infringement was on the line. On the line is in the area, and it has been turned from free kick to penalty. And it's a penalty for Tottenham Hotspur. 12 minutes gone. Harry Kane steps up from 12 yards to give Spurs the lead. And he does against the debutant goalkeeper Sanchez. Reguilon out of his body, tries to shoot, does shoot, on target. Stung the fingertips of Robert Sanchez in goal, who is Son, who's won it from Webster, who runs towards the penalty area. Heung-min Son tries a shot left to right. Tried a curler in the top corner, but caught underneath it. Heung-min Son, and that will be a goal kick to Brighton. Surprisingly flat so far at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, considering that the start we got as well with that early goal from Harry Kane. Kevin Watson watching the game with me. We did expect more, didn't we? What's going on with Spurs? Why do they keep scoring goals then trying to hold on for, in this case, 77 minutes?
Well, that's Jose Mourinho. We just spoke about it off air, didn't we, Tom? How many times throughout his career his teams will get a goal and then it will be park the bus, if you like. He doesn't need to do it with the players he has in this Tottenham team, but since the goal it's been pretty tepid stuff from the home side, and Brighton have arguably been the better side, but glaringly obvious, just lack any firepower.
Let's talk about the goal. It was a penalty. Lallana jumping into Harry Kane. It was originally given as a free kick, overturned by VAR to be a penalty. That was the right decision.
Yeah, right decision. As we all know, the line in the penalty area, or the lines if you like, belong to the attacking team, and we couldn't see it to start with. We thought it was good decision from the VAR this evening, and definitely a penalty. He was on the line, and he tucks it home, doesn't he? No danger at all.
Yeah, smart finish from Premier League goals now for him. Should there have been a penalty at the other end?
I think so, yes. I think so. I think was it Trossard? He dives into the box, and it's a lovely ball across, and I think Doherty has got his arm round his neck. Let's go at, I think, the all-important time, which stops it from being a penalty. But I think that was the wrong decision, and Brighton should possibly be level.
They are not, but they are still very much in this game, despite the 1-0 deficit at half-time. Kevin Watson for the moment, thank you very much indeed. Elsewhere today in the Premier League, 3 other results from today's games. Interesting stories all around the table right now. Aston Villa, so good, weren't they, in the opening few weeks of the season? Another loss for them. They were beaten 4-3 at home by Southampton, who have risen to 3rd in the table as things stand. Their 4th victory in 7 Premier League games. 4-3 it finished. Newcastle 2-1 winners against Everton. Callum Wilson scoring twice for Newcastle. Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a late consolation for the Toffees, who lose back-to-back matches. And just before this one, Arsenal victorious at Old Trafford against Manchester United. Excellent result for Mikel Arteta's side. Let's hear from the Arsenal manager and his counterpart, the Manchester United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, speaking to us post-match.
You're playing against a good team. We prepared well. They've prepared well in the first half. They had maybe, we had 1, they had 2 half chances, but still David didn't have any saves to make. So not a classic game, I have to say. Probably a 0-0 written all over it, apart from that soft penalty we gave away.
Well, it's a huge win for us, and obviously we know our history here in the last 14 years that we haven't been able to win, and I just try to create a mindset and an energy around the team that they could really believe that if we were who we've been today, that we can beat any opponent. And I'm really happy with the result, but I'm extremely proud about the game that they played, the courage that they show, and the game that we played today against a really difficult opponent.
We don't look at the table now. Of course, we've got to have to get points on the board, and last well enough either. And unfortunately, we're chasing our third win. Last year we got it in the 10th match. We're hoping to get it on Saturday in our 7th.
I think overall in the second half, when we adjusted a few things as well, and we had to go a little bit deeper because I think we were lacking some legs, we were as well really effective. But I'm really proud of what we've done with the ball as well.
Never felt like we got going first half, which was the main thing. That's when they more or less laid the foundation of their win. One little bit of defending to do, and unfortunately we gave a soft penalty away.
I think it generates belief, and as well for them it's like, yes, if we do what we have to do, we can beat anybody. I think we're very unlucky to get to. We have to react, and we did it in midweek. We did it today again with 2 wins, so let's go for it.
Manchester United have failed to win any of their opening 4 top-flight games at Old Trafford. It's the first time since 1972. They finish 18th that season, just days after thrashing RB Leipzig 5-0 there. They are not a team to be putting on your coupon, are they, for the weekend? Man United, very, very unpredictable. 2 more games for you in the Premier League this weekend. Monday Night Football. It's got a couple of corkers for you. Fulham against West Bromwich Albion. It's already a 6-pointer, isn't it? Sides in big trouble after really poor.
Talk Sport. Talk Sport. Catch up and listen up without having to cough up. It's free. Go to talksport.com and download the app today. Or don't. Your choice entirely.
Hello, Jim White here. Now, if you're wondering about all the background hullabaloo, I'm helping out as lifeguard at the brand new Talk Sport. Golf! No running there, boy! But never mind that. Join me tomorrow morning from 10, when I'll be up to my neck of the day's biggest sports stories. Come plunge with me, Jim White, straight in at the deep end of the action.
Weekday mornings from 10 on Talk Sport.
Driving home with Darren Goff and Doug, a sporting legend.
Say I'm angry is an understatement.
Adrian Durham, what an absolute clown.
Dynamic, double-strength drive-time radio.
Shall I stay?
I don't like listening to him, I'll turn off.
Do you want me to stay?
Adrian Durham and Darren Goff.
He's an idiot.
Right, hands up, who wants me to stay?
Drive-time radio.
I don't have to.
Weekdays from 4, only on Talk Sport.
Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs on Sport. Talk Sport. It's the double O duo on the radio show that's like a collapsible bridge over a shark-infested pool of big names, sporting headlines, and topical debate. Join Paul Alligator Hopscotch Hawksby and Andy Oddjob Jacobs, flying the plane of sporting entertainment out of the horse's bum of conventional radio.
Have we got Pussy Galore on the show, Andy?
No, Paul, but we've got Todd Hawksby and Jacobs, shaken but not stirred. Weekday afternoons from 1 on Talk Sport.
Talk Sport. Talk Sport. Confuse bookmakers, impress football agents, and entertain the kids with the improved Talk Sport app. Totally fun, totally free, totally football. Download it now from talksport.com.
Press the button that says Tinder.
Talk Sport.
You're back with Talk Sports coverage of Tottenham Hotspur against Brighton Hove Albion from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm your host, Tom Rennie. With me for this one, the former Tottenham midfielder Kevin Watson. This is Premier League Live, and the Brighton players have just joined us for the start of this second half here in North London. Certainly played well in that first 45, did Graham Potter's side, but without a striker, it does seem unlikely they will score. Just looking through the players that are out there now, it doesn't seem like there has been any changes for the Seagulls at half-time. So here is their side, starting with the goalkeeper Robert Sanchez in for Matt Ryan from the start today. Back three of Dan Burn, Joel Veltman and Adam Webster. Ben White, Yves Bissouma in the centre of midfield. Tarek Lamptey on the right, Solly March on the left. Adam Lallana, Leandro Trossard and Pascal Gross. A nominal front three in no particular formation. Matt Ryan, Alexis McAllister, Stephen Alzate, Danny Welbeck, Davy Proper, Andy Zakiri and Bernardo, the bench. Spurs, no changes for them either. So Hugo Lloris in goal. Back four, left to right for Sergio Reguilon, Eric Dier, Toby Alderweireld and Matt Doherty. Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg and Moussa Sissoko in the centre midfield with Tanganga and Ndombele. Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, Eric Lamela, front three, left to right. On the bench, Joe Hart, Harry Winks, Gareth Bale, Joe Rodon, Giovanni Lo Celso, Lucas Moura and Ben Davis. Graham Scott, our referee. Jonathan Moss, the VAR. and it was Moss who gave the penalty on VAR after it was originally given as a free kick. We are underway at the start of the second period. Tottenham kicking from left to right as we look. White shirts, navy shorts and white socks. Brighton the other way, right to left as we're looking. Blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Kevin Watson with me for this match here from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. What's going to happen with Tottenham in the opening 20 minutes here? Are they going to chase that second goal?
Well, I'd like to think they will, because 3 goals weren't enough against West Ham. So I can't see 1 being enough. I think they'll need to score again. Regardless of Brighton's lack of firepower, they will get a chance, Brighton. I know that they've had plenty of the ball and they've not really created an awful lot at the moment, but they will get a chance, and they could quite easily, just like Newcastle did to Tottenham here, got battered for the whole game and then scored at the end. And 1 is not enough. A bit more not direct in terms of smashing it long, but just play a little bit higher up the pitch.
I think we see Danny Welbeck for Brighton. Do you think it's just a case of how fit he is, if at all? Yeah, I mean, if he's on the bench, then he's obviously medically fit to play. But how long will he last? Me personally, if you put him on to try and get yourself back in the game. Whether Potter does that or not, I don't know, but that would be my personal thoughts on that matter. Tottenham coming forward here, and Ndombele, change of pace, running towards the penalty area. A couple of awkward looking step overs, allowing Brighton to win it back, and Lamptey pokes it to Lallana, away from Hojbjerg onto Trossard in the halfway. His return chip is intercepted. That's going to be a throw in to Brighton, which they take back to Gross from Trossard. Coming forward from the centre defence, Veltman. He charges past Ndombele and Sissoko and Hojbjerg, and then he poked it into nowhere. It was a great drive from the central defender, but it did have the look of nosebleed territory there as he just poked it to no one.
I was just about to say that. It really opened up for him late. All of a sudden he's running at distribution and lets him down at the end.
Lewis Dunk not in the matchday squad for the Seagulls today, suspended following his red card against Palace. Also no Maupay, no Connolly. Matt Ryan dropped, so it is a much changed looking Brighton, and they've certainly been in the game so far. No Dele Alli, by the way, in the squad at all for Tottenham Hotspur, though I'm sure regular listeners and people who know the Tottenham story this season will have expected that. Got a free kick here of Spurs, left hand side, 40 plus yards from goal. Dier's gone forward for it. Harry Kane, it looks like he's sizing it up here.
It's a long way out, isn't it?
It's a real long way. I mean, he's 35 to 40 yards, I reckon this.
He's going to shoot. You can see by the way he's lined it up, he's going to shoot.
Well, he's against a debutant goalkeeper, and he's looking for 150 Premier League goals. He's chipped it towards Heung-min Son, who's brought it down in the area, and now he's dived to try and get a penalty. And look at Veltman screaming at him for diving. Spurs playing on here with Harry Kane, who now dives for a penalty.
Well,
and the ball's gone out of play for a goal kick. Graham Scott will be consulting VAR.
I'm sure he will, because the Kane one looked more of a penalty than the Son one. Son doesn't need asking twice to go down, does he? But Harry Kane, he's not just going to dive on the floor for no reason whatsoever now.
No, he wants to win a penalty.
Let's have a little look.
Well, we're getting a long replay of the whole incident here. Heung-min Son, I mean, that's atrocious from Son.
Yeah.
I think it's Veltman behind him, and there is no contact at all. For Kane, he's running at Bissouma, and he kind of waits for Bissouma to make some connection with him and jumps to the ground, and I think quite rightly doesn't get a penalty. I mean, we saw Mo Salah yesterday, slight touch and dive to the ground. It often does get you a spot kick. Kane could have got that.
He could have. You can see what he's doing. He's flipped it inside and then dragged his feet against the defender's feet. So he's trying to buy a penalty, really. Yeah.
Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. You just have to accept there is a level of cheating in the game
that's a foul throw.
I suppose you call it clever these days. It was a foul throw.
Another one, and you could hear the Brighton players screaming for a foul throw.
It was Reguilon this time. The referee hasn't given it as a foul throw. But, that did not look good from Pretty experienced play.
The art of the throw-on has just gone out of the game. I'd reckon take throw-ons out of the game and just have...
I think it suggested recently, wasn't it? For the last, I think it was 5 minutes of games, do the kick-on.
Oh, did he? I didn't hear that, actually.
Yeah, one of his recommendations for the future of football. / selling his book. As Solly March has tripped over Doherty on this near side. Jose Mourinho, by the way, is having a word with the fourth official down there, Simon Hooper. Good luck, Simon, about that penalty that wasn't awarded. Hojbjerg's gone down here. He's got an injury, so might not be able to carry on. I mean, the debate will rage. I mean, I was watching the West Ham game yesterday, and I thought Mo Salah cheated for the penalty, but you do get those penalties. Slight contact, jump on the ground, you get it. We just have to accept that players will cheat to get things, and you know, as soon as officials start giving those penalties, you're going to see it more often. But Harry Kane here hasn't got one, and you know, it's a similar sort of thing, isn't it? Waited for contact and then took a tumble.
Yeah.
So why is this not a penalty but Salah's was?
Again, grey areas, subjective viewpoints from VAR and different referees, and everyone's got their own opinions, Tom. That's the problem. There's too many grey areas with the VAR. Like you say, penalty gets given yesterday for a similar offence. And you can see what Harry Kane's doing. As he's flipped it inside, he's just dragged his feet into, I think it was Bissouma, wasn't it, into his feet. So on another day, they could say, yeah, that's contact, and that's a penalty.
Hojbjerg here looks in some distress. Ball was rolling across his body, and he tried to turn to find a pass, and something has pinged or tweaked. He's being seen to by the medical team here, but I do wonder whether he's going to be able to carry on. Gareth Bale, Harry Winks, Giovanni Lo Celso, Lucas Moura, all able to replace him, so not the same player, of course, but could maybe fill in. Maybe Ndombele could drop deeper.
You'd think it'd be Winks going into that deep line role if needs be.
Well, he's back on Hojbjerg, but he's not moving well at all in the centre of midfield as Brighton look to come forward with Tariq Lamptey through the centre. As the ball nipped off his toes by Ndombele. Doherty gives it straight back to Brighton. Then the referee says foul by Gross after the Seagulls have won it back, and that's a bit fortunate there for Tottenham. Doherty not having a great game here.
No, he's been sloppy, hasn't he? Give away a potential penalty that wasn't given. He's been sloppy with the ball.
Minutes gone. Tottenham 1, Brighton 0 here on Premier League Live. Brighton still very much in this game. They're not looking threatening at all moving forward, but in truth, apart from...
It's been a pretty tepid encounter, isn't it, up until this point? I think it needs a goal either way just to spark it into life.
Hojbjerg from a throw tries to bundle his way through. Brighton win it back. Solly March, nice nutmeg away from Lamela, held up though by Sissoko. Then March, he kind of just pushed him off the ball, didn't he?
It was like taking sweets from a baby, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. Couldn't keep the ball in play though, Sissoko. I'll be annoyed with that because he worked really hard to win it back for Tottenham. It's a Brighton throw by the corner flag, left hand side, into Lallana. Tries to flick it towards Dan Burn, had got forward, cleared away. Gross heads it back to Adam Webster, the Brighton captain. Back towards Sanchez, whose pass return to Webster was right in front of Heung-min Son. Webster upfield, diagonal in the air towards Trossard, cleared away by Reguilon. Flicked on by Ndombele in the air, trying to find Lamela. This is as scrappy a game of football I've seen all season.
Well, it's a pretty odd thing to say because Tottenham are leading the game 1-0. But I think both teams need to make a change. Tottenham to liven themselves up, and Brighton will obviously have to score a goal to get back into it, and they just don't look like scoring a goal when they get in and around Tottenham's penalty area.
Solly March on the edge, left hand side, tries a square ball to Bissouma, allowing Hojbjerg to stickle. Referee says no foul there. Not quite sure about that one, as March crosses into Gross, onto Lamptey, and that's a goal. And that's a goal for Brighton. Lovely interplay on the edge from the Seagull. They feel Hojbjerg was fouled in the build-up. Graham Scott didn't give it, and Brighton have taken full